Hello everyone and welcome to the program. I'm Sheon Wakimbaloye. Not a good time for many Nigerians considering the state of the Nigerian economy. Virtually all commodities that you pick in the market has its price doubled in the past year. The free fall of the naira, the Nigerian currency, has worsened the situation with prices going up, and sometimes you won't even find some commodities again in the market to buy because those who sell will tell you they cannot afford to bring them into the country, and you wonder why almost everything is imported. Another problem begging for solution. Almost every aspect of the nation's economy has gone from bad to worse in the last few months or so. A major reason economists will say is a drop in the price of oil globally, a commodity Nigeria solely depend on, sadly too. Since May 29, 2015, when the Muhammadu Buhari government got the mandate to steer the affairs of Nigeria, the government has been faced with some of the unfortunate scenarios you can ever think of. Let me quickly show you some of them. On the streets of major cities of the states of the Federation, like you see now on your screen, worker state protest from inability of governments of their state to pay salaries to fall out in government labor conversations. And price of fuel has been increased majorly. Policies led to a shakeup, which in turn is the sort of queues we see at major filling stations across the country. Another biting situation for Nigerians. Security has been a major setback also, as the Boko Haram insurgents have been dealt a blow. Herdsmen, invasion of communities in Nigeria have caused loads and loads of concerns. And now in the Niger Delta region, activities of the Niger Delta militant has not helped the situation, as they have almost crippled the nation economy with their bombings and destruction of major oil installations. All of these have in one way or the other heightened the hardship caused majorly by the economic downfall, or what the federal government has described as a technical recession. Perhaps the Buhari government may have gotten more than what they bargained for. The promises of the change government during the campaigns were so enticing, so much that Nigerians voted out the PDP government. But now the change promise is what many Nigerians are asking for. But let me remind you of some of the promises made by the President Buhari government when the APC was campaigning across the nation. This one that I will show you now specifically talks about the economy and some of the things President Muhammadu Buhari said at those events.
As is concerned Enugu State, we shall make an effort to restart the coal industry and use it for power. The vehicle assembly plants will also be revived. Unemployment. The youth of this country are more than 60% of the population. And whether they have been to school or not, they are not employed. This is extremely dangerous for the nation state. About jobs, the quickest way we can give jobs to everybody, whether educated or not, is to make sure we empower farming by giving fertilizers, inputs, and advice by extension farming specialists. And thirdly, and very importantly, to try and get the financial houses to give self-loans to other traders and small manufacturers so that they can fortify their businesses and they employ more people and produce goods and services. The infrastructure led by NEPA, when there is power, the entrepreneurs will be able to break even and employ more people and produce goods and services.
Remember those pictures and those events, those were early days in 2015. Those were on the campaigns. But at the swearing-in ceremony on the 29th of May, one would think the Buhari government and the APC setup had all planned and designed these. And so these are some of the things President Muhammadu Buhari said on the 29th of May when he got the mandate to be Nigeria's democratically elected president. And again, we've chosen to take out some of the things he said specifically on the economy. Take your pen and take a note of some of the things that he said on that day that will be important in the course of our conversation tonight on the program. Take a listen now.
No single cause can be identified to explain Nigeria's poor economic performance over the years than the power situation. It is a national shame that an economy of 180 million generates only 4,000 megawatts and distributes even less. Continues tinkering with the structures of power supply and distribution, and close to United States $20 billion expended since 1999 have only brought darkness, frustration, misery, and resignation among Nigerians. We will not allow this to go on. Careful studies are underway during this transition to identify the quickest, safest, and most effective way to bring light and relief to Nigerians. Unemployment, notably youth unemployment, features strongly in our party's manifesto. We intend to attack the problem frontally through revival of agriculture, solid minerals mining, as well as credits to small and medium-sized businesses to kickstart these enterprises. We shall quickly examine the best way to revive major industries and accelerate the revival and development of our railways, roads, and general infrastructure.
Well, again, I've reminded you of these very one that you've just seen over there. Those are some of the things the president talked about on 29th of May 2016. If you've gotten your notepad there and you've taken note of some of those things, it will be important, as I said earlier. But then let's get the conversation started. But take a look at some of these information. Let me first show you the APC campaign promises. The party said so many things. I've tried to highlight some of those things that have been said here so you can get a sense of what we shall be talking about on the program, where the APC had said they will create a phased social insurance scheme to assist certain groups in the population with social welfare payments through a phased program, starting with one, the young people under 30 and the unemployed, senior citizens of over 70, the disabled, and armed service veterans. They said they will also provide a free daily school meal for all children attending primary school. They said they will provide 3 million new jobs per year, guaranteed free education, employ at least an extra 100,000 police officers, provide interest-free loans for university technical school students who meet the required entry qualifications, direct conditional monthly social security payment for 25 million of the poorest Nigerians. These are some of the promises made by the APC government. Well, of course, put that in one hand, and let me show you this. 1 year ago, over a year ago, about 2 years now, APC came up with all of these campaign promises. But now, what are the realities of things on the ground? Try to put up this research also so you can get a sense of what we're talking about. This is how things are looking now. Nigeria's lost its position as Nigeria's largest economy to South Africa. And well, this is predominantly reliant on the fact that Nigeria's gross domestic GDP has dropped to $296 billion in 2016, which is a steep fall from the $481 billion recorded in 2015 due to decline in Naira value to the dollar weakness and the rand strengthening against the dollar. So as the naira was falling, the dollar and the rand, the South African currency, strengthened. So that's a major reason why Nigeria's lost its position to South Africa. Well, that's a major one. You remember one of the major moves by the Jonathan administration was the upping of the GDP, which gave Nigeria that first position again on the continent. But again, these are some of the issues coming up in the last 1 year. So let me give you another index so that you can get a sense of what we're talking about right now. Well, oil benchmark is put at $48 per barrel, different from what the government may have thought of or maybe thinking at that time. Don't forget, our economy is reliant on oil, and the fall of these is affected every aspect of our lives. Oil production is projected to 2 million barrels per day. That's the production. That's what we projected for the year 2016 in the Nigerian budget. Well, again, if you look at it at a parallel market, the dollar now sells for about 395 naira. Well, not so interesting, but let me show you again that a Nigerian worker receives about a minimum wage of less than $1. Well, you know what that can buy you. Well, at the parallel market, that's what the dollar sells for now. Those are not figures that will excite anyone living in Nigeria at the moment. But let's talk about all of these and what the future holds for our dear nation, Nigeria. I have joining me now a guest, a former presidential candidate of the New Nigeria People's Party and a policy analyst, Mr. Gautima Lima, joins us here in our Lagos studio. Many thanks for coming on the program.
It's a pleasure.
And now Abuja studio is a former national chairman of the Labour Party, Chief Dan Nwanyawu, joins us on the program. Many thanks for joining us on the program. Let me start with my guest here in the studio here in Lagos. With all of the things that we've seen and all of the promises that have been made and the current situation of things, for an average Nigerian, what do you think it brings to mind about the government in power?
Well, certainly the expectation from the Nigerian electorates when they voted in His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari was that they were going to see immediate change, the quality of their life. And this can be done, but unfortunately, as you rightly shown in the figures, that has not translated into the kind of expectation that a lot of Nigerians were having for the administration. He had a lot of political capital, he had a lot of support. I'm talking about the APC administration. But it can be done. It can be done. And the most important thing, it's the issue of implementation. And as I repeatedly said in most of the programs, implementation relies on three key elements. They call it the 3 M's. You need to have money on hand. You need to find out from the economy where are you going to have short-term money that is going to impact immediately on the society. Then you need to have materials, which are the infrastructure, utilities, water, roads, and the railway, and all these other things we are talking about. What can you do in the short term to make sure that you have these infrastructure renewal programs for the economy to be excited? Then you have money and materials. You understand? Now, these are the key elements that drive in implementation. And for the meantime, the most important element that affects generality of the Nigerians, Mr. President, in the clip that you've shown, had rightfully said 70% of the Nigerians could immediately have gainful employment in the agricultural sector. But the agricultural sector itself is not an immediate cash-generating business. Why is the cash cow in the Nigerian economy?
All right. Just I'd like to pause you because we will take a moment on the program. Don't forget, two guests right here, right now, talking to me, Mr. Chief Dan Nwanyawu and Mr. Gautima Lima. And when we return on the program, what about the Buhari policies, right or wrong? We ask some very deep questions on the state of things in Nigeria. When we return, stay with us.